All right, guys and gals, we are back on our next episode, and I'm so glad to have Leslie on board with us today. She is a registered dietitian and a coach, and she's going to be bringing the heat today about nutrition and why. Because leaders, you got, if you haven't heard me before, leaders, part of being a leader is understanding the importance of leadership in your life. And Leslie's going to bring some of the heat on that, and I'm so excited. She's energetic, she's powerful, she's a veteran, and which makes it even a whole lot better. I told it to her earlier that it just makes her even more better. And let me just introduce her real quick. She's Leslie Urbas, and she works from her home office in the Sunshine State, yeah, Florida, and lives out her highest purpose every day. She combines her grounded sense of family values as a military wife and inspiring mom of two with her expertise and natural entrepreneurial flair. Hey, entrepreneurs are like super awesome people in my respect. I'm just not boasting for myself. Leslie doesn't meet her life halfway in any realm, personally or professionally. A great example of this is her lighthearted yet high impact commitment she shares with her clients when she married her man of her dreams in 2017 during Hurricane Irma. Okay, you might want to tell that story later on. I don't know. Instead of postponing the beach wedding, as most would do, the fun-loving couple officially tied the knot despite the stormy winds of change. This remarkable woman thrives today because she successfully infused her purpose-driven passions for life, health, business, and family in a way that best serves everyone whose life she touches. And look, she's been featured in Authority Magazine, Under Armour, Fitbit, and myfitnesspal. And like I said, she was in the Navy. And are you still in the Navy? Are you in the reserves still?
No, I did get out of the reserves as well. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, look, she went into the Navy. I made a mistake. I went some other direction, but hey, I love the Army. I love the Army. I don't want to, down it or anything like that. But Navy is a very good choice. Leslie, welcome to the program. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, did your dietitian lifestyle, fitness lifestyle, was that natural, or did you have to like gravitate into that? If you can give us a little background besides what we already talked about here.
Yeah, for sure. So I'd really start with that. I think I was always destined to be a dietitian. I can remember in sixth grade, like a kid, it was a birthday party. And he said something like, "Are you going to eat a donut?" And I said, "No, I think there's too many calories in that." And he was like, "Well, where'd you hear that from?" It just wasn't something out of a sixth grade mouth. I was like, "I don't know. I ate the donut anyways." But for a while after that, I pondered, like, why is an apple healthier than a donut? Like, I really want to know the science behind this. And so I think I was always destined to semi be a dietitian. I didn't actually know what a dietitian was, though, until I was a senior in high school, funny enough.
Mm.
So that's when I went that route. But fitness, I've always loved fitness. When I was 16 years old, I decided that I was going to start making a workout of my regular routine. And since I was probably in sixth grade, I woke up and worked out with my mom, or sixth grade, 16. I woke up and worked out with my mom at that age. And I've always been an early riser. And now the only time you'll see me not working out is if I just had a baby because I'm not allowed to, or, a surgical reason. But I
Yeah.
pretty much am up every morning working out. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into it.
And if well later on we're going to show Leslie's going to tell us her website, how to get a hold of her. And the one thing I love is that you're a leader. You were in the Navy, and you understand, just like in any military, I was in the military, that there's different aspects to leadership, and a lot of people they understand, all right, I got to be a positional leader, authority, I got to have the right mindset. Sometimes people understand that about, but they always, all right, I want to say always, but leaders tend to forget about the physical health that they need to manage, because that's a part of their leadership. I mean, why is that so important to have a health mindset in your leadership abilities?
Yeah, for sure. So in my, humble opinion here of the entrepreneurs or people that I've worked with before, I noticed that the more people focus on their business aspect, the more tired they get if their nutrition and fitness is not there. So they're doing things like, I'll work harder, I'll work longer, I'll meet these goals. And then they stress out, they get tired, they get burnt out. One of the reasons why they fall down is because they don't have the energy for it. Sometimes they could be battling other issues too, like gut health issues, mind issues, other things like the physical inability to keep up. Nowadays we have so many, new avenues for you to be, broadcasting yourself and marketing yourself and doing all these things. Like wait 5 minutes and we'll have a new social media app that we all need to have an account on, that, that you're going to find your client, right? So with all of those things, we tend to throw nutrition, health, fitness last. And it's not just because we think that, it's how we were raised, right? We weren't raised to put our nutrition, our fitness, our health first. So it's like a back burner thing. It's like, oh, we'll get to it when we'll get to it. We'll deal with it when we need to deal with it. And a lot of times we don't deal with it until we're smack dab in the middle of, a huge life change. Like some emotional connection causes us to start thinking about it. Like close relative dies, somebody dies of some obscure thing that could have been caused, it could have been solved if they had better nutrition, things along that nature. But without that emotional attachment, a lot of times leaders or people that, run businesses, it's like, okay, I know it's there. I know I need to do it. But because they don't ever put enough effort into it, it's kind of like a on again, off again thing. I'll pay attention to it and then something else derails them and goes the other direction. So I think it's a combination of things. We put it to the back because it's not something that we think that we need right away. And also that, we don't really process that the reason why we're maybe fatiguing or not getting the results we want in our business is related to that. We just assume we're not working hard enough.
Guys, I hope you get that, because I know, and I shared with Leslie earlier that when I was in the military, I thought I was in peak performance because I was exercising twice a day. I was doing what I thought I needed to do to get health in my life. But in reality, when I went to the doctor, he was saying I was close to being a diabetic. I was 2 or 3 points away from tipping the scale and being a diabetic. And then it would have been, okay, medications and all this other stuff that they probably would have prescribed me. But in reality, when I started changing the way I ate, I saw it in a different light, which Leslie's going to explain to us. It changed my health perspective. And I was like, whoa, diet does make a difference. And it's not, I'm not trying to minimize exercising, doing cardio, going outside and getting fresh air, working out with weights and stuff like that. Not minimizing that at all. That is needed. But it's, what is the adage, whatever, bad in, bad out, or something to that effect. It's not just a saying, it's reality. And so how can one, because I know you've done some videos about mindset and about diet, and what are some tips, I guess, you can give our folks that you give to some of your clients to get over that hurdle in their mind that they can't achieve the level or goals to get to health, fitness?
Yeah. Yeah. So I kind of want to start with that. Most people, when they think of, okay, I'll get healthy, it's okay, Google a diet, or let me go to something I see on TV like Noom, Weight Watchers, calorie counting, macros, keto, right? Top ones right now. So people go to this, and that is like a bulletproof plan. That would be like any entrepreneur on here, somebody coming to you to be like, okay, tell me exactly what you did in order to get to where you are, because I want to do what you do. And you'd be like, okay, well, here's some bullet points, but think of all the mind stuff you've done. Think of all the hurdles you've had to overcome and all the things you've had to change within your body. So when people think, oh, you just helped me with my diet from a perspective from a dietitian or what I do in my business, I'm like, you're right, quote unquote, I help you with that. But we start from your mind. So I kind of touched on this earlier, but there's two ways people really change. And the first way is that emotional connection, like something physically happened, to you. You got scared. Like, I don't want diabetes, right? And that scared you. But here, there are lots of people that could be 2 points away and be like, I don't really care. Like it's still far enough away. I didn't hear it. It's not true for me. So because it's not true officially, they stay behind. So then in order to accomplish it, they have to constantly repeat things over and over. Like, okay, so if I'm doing the macro counting or I'm doing keto, it's every day. You have to constantly repeat it over and over and over and over and over. And unlike with a business, potentially, let's say, you repeat it and then you get money and you get all these good things, you constantly repeat this diet every day, right? And the scale doesn't move that fast. It
Mm.
doesn't move quick enough for you. You don't see the results because nobody's pricking your finger every day or taking your blood every day. So you're like, meh, I don't think it's really working, and you walk away. So the best tip for a mindset of trying to do it is honestly, number one, if you're somebody that sees this, like you don't have the emotional connection to doing it yet, how many times have you started and stopped, right?
Mm.
How many times have you said, I'm going to focus on nutrition, I'm going to focus on health? As many times as you said that, it'll take you just as many more times to make it to the next goal.
Mm.
Okay. Why? Because now every time you go to do it, your mind is like, oh, you're never going to follow through. Oh, okay, we'll play this game for a little bit and then we'll be okay. I'll eventually derail you with some other thought and you'll forget about this and everything will go away, right? So my mindset tips for you are, one, if that's something that you've noticed about yourself, talk to a dietitian, talk to a, nutritionist, right? The second thing would be for mindset is it has to have a goal, right? When you're a leader or an entrepreneur or something, you have a goal. Your goal is, I don't want to go back to work, or I want to make this business successful for myself, for my future, because, this is fun for me, right? Diets sometimes aren't fun. So to get yourself in the right position, set a goal of something you want to accomplish. Maybe you want to run a marathon, or you want to run a triathlon, or you want to, go in healthier to your 60s than you were in your 50s. Make it a goal that you're working towards, and that will kind of help a little bit with mindset. But the third thing that I really, go in with my clients and in depth is your sabotage patterns. Like, where are
Mm.
you messing yourself up? And why is it that you think that nutrition is perfect, right? Like, even if you say, I'm never going to touch a piece of pizza again, there may be a moment where like you haven't eaten all day and the only thing that's there is pizza, and you break that bond. So we focus on, just like you had said, not always, not using never and always, but learning how to live your life based on the day you're having. Nobody has an A game day every day. So it's one of those, working on that mindset that your nutrition isn't going to be perfect. So the more you say, I'm not, I'm not, I'm not, the more times you'll fail, the worse you feel, the less you'll accomplish, and the more you ruin that whole mindset thing you were going for anyways.
Mm. She just dropped some gold, gold, gold. And that's why she is a coach. Look, I tell you what, and I harp on this almost every episode. If you want to have true success, I want to say true success, you can have success, but if you want to have success that is above average, that you can reach your goals in a faster way, you hire a coach. And that's another reason why I brought Leslie on, because the only reason why I ever started gaining stability in my health is because my doctor was kind of my coach. We would have check-ins, and for my health, and he's like, hey, so how are you doing with your supplements? How are you doing with your eating? I'm seeing your levels. So that's why I highly recommend, if you want to start changing your health habit style in a way that's conducive to get your life to the next level health wise, I highly suggest someone like Leslie. And she's going to give us her details later on in the show, how to reach her, and she's going to have something coming up soon. Look, a coach is the way to go. If you want to do it on your own, you might have some success. But if you want to truly have success, someone's going to be on your side, coaching you, motivating you, getting you excited for those small achievements. Because like she was saying, like small achievements make a big difference. You got to celebrate those things, even if it was like a half a pound or even just 1 pound a week. That is an achievement in and of itself. You don't want to discard that. And a coach always reminds you, take the small wins, because the small wins compound to bigger wins. And so we talked about mindset and how to change, you got to change your way of framing how your successes are in life. Because like you said, if I say, oh, I can't do it, oh, I failed in the past, you're already going down the wrong road. Say, look, and I think you're alluding to this as well, is like knowing your why. Because my why back in the day was, I don't want to be a diabetic, because I know how it can affect some of my family members. I know how it affected some other people that I knew that they lost limbs. I was like, I'm, I was like in my 30s. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a diabetic. I might lose limbs. I don't want to lose limbs. I like walking. I like swimming. I like doing the things that I do with my limbs. And that's why I was like, I got to make a change. So let's say we have somebody who wants to make a change and they're like, all right, Leslie, you know what? Uh, Man, my gut health is not good. I'm having bloating, and I want to lose maybe 10 pounds by before New Year's. I'm just throwing that out there. We're already in summer. We can't, the bikini, fitting and whatever for summer is almost gone. So let's say, hey, I want to get into my outfit that I used to be in when I was a teenager for New Year's Eve. And I want to get better gut health and lose the in between here. What would you first tell them, I guess?
Yeah, so I like how you brought up why. I would ask that question why, but I wouldn't allow it to be external. Sort of like how
Mm,
you said, I didn't want to get diabetes because I didn't want to lose limbs. That had to do with you and you only. It wasn't I don't want to lose a limb because then I couldn't walk with my wife. It was I don't want to lose a limb because I enjoy these activities, right? So a lot of people come to me and when they say they want to lose weight, why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to be, healthier for my kids, or I want my wife to look at me happily again, or I want to turn her head, or I want to feel something along those lines, where it's external, right?
mm,
You won't follow through with an external reason, especially when the significant other or somebody on the other side is like, you're fine. I love you just the way you are. Right.
ooh,
Then it's like, I'm off. Right. I'm dropped off. It's like, oh, they love me. I'm good to go. I might as well throw it out the window. But you still don't feel good. So the first thing I would do is I need to know why, but I need to know it from your personal perspective. Like, why do you really, really want this? And then from there, we would accomplish those things, right? So we're going to dive deep into that of what you really want and why you really want it, but it has to be for you. Not to say you can't say, like, I want to have more energy because I'm running this business and then I want to still have energy for my kids. Sure, that's still internal to you. I want to do this and I still want to have the energy, right? That becomes an internal thing. But you can't say, I want to be healthier for my kids or I want to be healthier for my wife, because that can easily come or go. It has to become emotional to you. So that's the first thing that I would really do with them. And then the second thing is, in detail, kind of what's going on. The diets that are out there don't ever focus on you, right? They never get to you. Like,
mm,
what's actually happening? Your doctor focused on you. And I give that doctor props, because nowadays with the 20-minute appointments, 90% of doctors don't have any time to really do this. That's why there's dietitians and support staff, right? So really what I do is I look at your diet as a whole of where you want to go. And if you say that, Friday nights are really pizza night, I enjoy it, my wife enjoys it, my kids enjoy it, my group enjoys it, whatever, maybe Fridays are like the day you bring in pizza for the office or something. If that's what you like to do, you should be able to do that and still accomplish a weight goal, still develop the right gut health. Maybe we have to change the kind of pizza or whatever it could be to be what's right for you. But that's what a diet out there doesn't do. It's more like black and white, do or don't. Or sure, Weight Watchers has points and other things like that have those key points for you. But has anybody actually just said to you, what do you want your life to look like? Right?
mm.
When you get done, if this is your life, right? If you were to die tomorrow, would you say you enjoyed the food that you were eating? Would you say you enjoy your diet? Would you say you enjoy what you're doing? You know, People think that I will do this means to get this end, and then I'll never have to do anything anymore. And that's just not true. So I really look at you from a holistic perspective of, okay, you have these goals you want to accomplish business wise, these goals you want to accomplish health wise, these goals you want to accomplish spirit wise, mental wise, all that. Tie that together in a perfect way where you say, these are the outcomes that I want, but I still want to have X, Y, and Z. And I help you mesh that together, including with, family history, as well as, your current medical history, as well as, maybe you do have some kids or some other things we have to tie in there to make it so your life is like super easy in a compartment when it comes to nutrition. And
Mm.
you have that skill for whatever day it comes. So if you had those things, I would suggest you find someone that can do that with you. So your life is easier instead of like, okay, Google this disease. Okay, got what I need to do. Okay, Google this one. They look opposing. I don't know how to make one that works for me. So what do I do now? I'll just restrict both and just eat cantaloupe all day. Right. So, so it's one of
Yeah.
those kinds of things. Yeah.
So I know this is going to come up. They're going to be like, man, diets, diets, diets. They always give us like bad food or bland food and stuff like that. I can imagine you being the lifestyle that you have, and you live for the moment. You're excited, but you're also cognizant of health. I mean, some of the things, do you provide like guidance and like I'm going to say like give people terrible foods to eat and some of your dietary plans? I know the answer because we're living a lifestyle where we're eating differently and we're eating like tasty food. But I mean, how do you tailor, I guess, something to someone's diet if they need to change their diet?
Yeah, so of course, so there's multiple options there. I actually do a lot of meal planning with them and give them some ideas for that. Quick and easy. No one wants to be in the kitchen for an hour. Maybe every once in a while you might want to cook a really awesome gourmet meal, and that's cool. We can discuss that too. But there's ways to make foods, taste better, whether it be through spices, cooking processes. People, used to like hate turkey burger meat, and now it's not so bad. And people used to hate things like that, and we've come a long way nutrition wise.
Mhm.
But as for that, like, don't eat this because it's bad. There may be something where it's like, I have, celiac disease, so I cannot eat gluten. So we really do have to remove that. But if you don't have a health issue that's causing you to do that, there is no such thing as an awful food. There's just foods that we consume lots of for reasons and we consume less of for reasons. And there's no reason why you have to remove those things unless it was something like, I have a food allergy or it literally is causing harm to my body, or, the only way my gut is going to get better and I don't have to go to the bathroom 8 times a day is if I do X, Y, or Z. Those things may be a little bit more set in stone, but just like yourself, as you learned through like the diabetes, almost scare and stuff like that, you can spice food, you can flavor food, it can taste good, even though it's healthy and it meets those things. But it does take some experimenting and learning what works well for you and
Mhm.
not just what works well for somebody else.
Yeah. And diet is such a fascinating area if people actually look into it, because someone who grows up in Asia uh, will have some adverse effects to somebody that's food that's in Mexico, or someone who lived in North America goes down to the Middle East, and so our diet and where we grew up is so many different factors, and one food can be non-harmful to somebody. Another food can be like, oh my gosh, you eat it and you swell up. It's like, and it just happens like that. So that's why, again, I highly encourage, if you want to make it like a deep impact and commitment to gaining health, not just losing weight. Because when you eat healthy, and you tell me if I'm wrong, if you eat healthy, the byproduct of eating healthy, you will lose weight, because if you're eating foods that are high in nutrients that actually benefit your body's going to react by getting rid of the things that it doesn't need, because you're getting your body into an optimum state of performance. And that's something that I learned, and that with my other doctor, and that some of the things that I was eating was stressing my body, was causing inflammation, was doing other things like that. And that's the beauty of having a coach. That's why I love your combination that you have. You're a coach and a registered dietitian, so you can incorporate your coaching methods with your methodologies that you learn as being a dietitian to help your people that you're coaching actually go to the next level. Because some people, they just know about, hey, exercise, exercise. They might throw some tips at you about eating whatever. Yeah, eat more vegetables and fruits like your mama said. And then and then you don't know what to do with it. But with Leslie, it's like, all right, what are some of the things, and she's going to help you along the way to achieve the fitness levels that you want to achieve and to get there in a much better way. Coaching is so essential. Coaching is so essential. I can't not stress it enough. So before we head out, Leslie, you got to tell us about the hurricane. All right, tell us about the hurricane wedding. What happened there? If you can, give us a little brief story about that.
Yeah, so that seemed to be the hurricane year in 2017. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but there was like a million hurricanes, I feel like, and they did all actually hit. Like, sure, we hear of lots of tropical storms and hurricanes, but they were all like actually hitting places. Like the one right before us was in Texas, and then Irma started popping up. It was about 2 weeks before we were going to get married, and I was like, "Oh, I have a bad feeling about this." And he was like, "It won't happen." And the lady at the base, we were getting married on, we getting married in church, but then we were doing our reception on base. She's like, "Oh, the past ones have blown over. You guys will be fine." And little by little, it got closer, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not getting a good feeling about this." And then on Sunday before our wedding, it was like 20,000 tracks, while they draw all those lines up a thing. And I was like, yeah, there's just too many in our area. I don't know what'll happen. And Monday came around and they assured us it was fine. Tuesday, still similar. It still had too many paths. But then Wednesday, my husband went to work and I stayed home because that's the day that my family was coming in. And I had a majority of my immediate family on an airplane and my sister Lori driving up from Fort Myers when my husband was like, "I'm at a reception hall." And I was like, "Okay." And he said, "I'm getting refunded all of our money." And I was like, "Oh, great." So that was like a plan. Like literally we had like probably 12 people already on their way. And I called my sister and I was like, "Yeah, I really don't know what to do. Like, I don't want to tell them. I'm not going to tell them until they're here. Are you going to make it before? Because I need somebody else here." And she, reassured me and everything. And we replanned our wedding about 4 times in that 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday. And then Thursday night, when it was for sure going to come and it was going to hit us on Sunday, every one of our family members talked about immediately after our wedding, they'd stay for 2 hours and then drive. And I looked at my husband on the morning of the 8th, the day before we were supposed to get married of September. And I just said, "I think we're going to make the rehearsal our wedding, aren't we?" And he was like, "I think so." I was like, "Okay," just so that way people could enjoy and they could all leave on Saturday morning super early, right? So we woke up on that Friday. He went to work. He went to work for 4 hours. I taught a spin class. I came home and at 7 a.m. when everybody was here, I was like, "So today's the day." And everybody just kind of looked at me. I was like, "We already got it, confirmed with the priest. We could make our rehearsal our wedding." And so we did it. And at that point, it was actually, there was precursor to hurricane, but I forget what it was. There was like a nor'easter that was around too. So it was like a nor'easter into a hurricane. And we had our wedding completely not what we planned. It was like the 5th, go around of what we wound up with. And we went from like 200 people invited, 130 said yes, to 34 people. So it was fabulous. We wound up saving tons of money, so I guess I can't argue with that. But yeah, I joked for a long time. I don't even know what our wedding day is because everything's dated the 9th of September, but we got married on the 8th. So my husband actually bought something for our 1-year anniversary that said the right date because I kept we woke up on our wedding anniversary and it took us about 3 hours to be like, "Oh, wait, it's our anniversary." Like we forgot because we've been saying the wrong date all this time. But yeah.
Right. So whirlwind marriage. There you go. So
yeah,
literally.
When you marry military, I guess that's just a sign of how the rest of the years are going to go.
Yeah. My wife and I got married when I was in the military too, and it was long story short. I had just come back from a deployment overseas, and I was on my little rest and recuperation in between leave, and came back, and we ran over to the city hall, like, "Let's get married." Oh. And then got married real quick, and we had the actual wedding like 6 months later, but it was whirlwind here in San Antonio. Like, get married real quick, go see the guy, and then went back overseas, and it was pretty interesting. So that was like 24 years. Yeah, 24 years this year. So,
wow, congrats.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. But yeah, in the military, yeah, you got to improvise, adapt, overcome almost any situation, including getting married sometimes.
Exactly.
So no, let's see. And again, before we go, so what's coming up in the future with your programs or anything going on that you can let our listeners know about?
Yeah. So I always run one-on-one programs as of right now. I'm close to a wait list, but not there yet. And then I am starting a new group program for you in optimal health, and really overcoming that mindset. I like to say that it's more of a mindset diet or mindset way of living through nutrition hopefully or wholly. And I'm doing a free challenge next week. So August 17th, 18th, 19th in my Facebook group. It's called Weight Loss and Well-Being for High Performers. And at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on those 3 days, I'm going to go live with how to lose weight, build muscle, and beat the scale. And then I'm going to offer a group course to continue on this so you can end the rest of the year wholly, healthfully reaching your goals. I like to say, so you look better than the Thanksgiving turkey. And so people kind of look at you like, what did you do? And instead of Thanksgiving being all about the meal, they'll just be shocked at what you look like. But that's the next thing that I have on my list coming up real soon. So
Outstanding. And where can they find you to find out about this challenge coming up?
yeah, for sure. So if you don't want to friend me on Facebook, which on Facebook I'm Leslie Urbas, if you just put in the Facebook groups Weight Loss and Well-Being for High Performers, you'll see the group. I also have a YouTube channel called Leslie Urbas. And then my website is leslieUrbas.com, and there should be an inquiry on there where you can ask questions, or it should link you to all those groups and social media platforms that I'm on.
Outstanding, outstanding. And we're going to have all that information in the description below. And hey, if you got any comments or questions for Leslie, put them in the comments below, and then I'll send them over to her, or and she can respond to you guys. But look, check her out at her website, leslieUrbas.com. And like I said, I'll put all the other links to contact her, reach out to her, find out more about her, find out about her challenges. It sounds really, really awesome. And we already know that she's awesome and she knows what she's talking about. She knows what she's doing. She wants to help people out to get optimal health in their lives. And Leslie, before we head out, do you have any last words for our audience that you just want to give them?
Yeah, so I always like to point out that if you don't invest in yourself, people won't invest in you. So health and wellness is one of the things that we always put last, right? But if you don't invest in you and make yourself wholly healthful, all that good stuff, why do you expect someone else to then come and want to work with you? You have to live that example of who they want to be for them to want to work with you. Even if you're not a coach, even if you're just an entrepreneur selling a product, they will be more attracted to you because your whole presence will be just a little bit different. So don't forget to take the time to invest in yourself.
Awesome. Awesome. And that's true. If you don't invest in yourself, who will? And that's a good point to make in this. Thank you, Leslie, for coming on again. LeslieUrbas.com. Check her out. Check out what she's going to be doing here pretty soon. And she has other things going on her website you need to check out. And hey, thank you for coming on again. I appreciate this. It's so awesome. We got to have you on again because you have a lot of good topics that people need to hear about, especially with the mindset, because we just touched on it. But there's a lot of stuff to go deeper to get into that healthy mindset. But thank you guys for coming on again. Thank you, Leslie. And we'll see you on the next episode.